Welcome, friends and family. So excited to be coming to you here today live from our Cookeville Elevate studio. Folks, it is a joy to be coming to you at the very end of the year. So Merry Christmas is right around the corner. Hope you all are getting ready for a phenomenal Christmas. When I think about Christmas, I think about what do we value in life, right? So many people, values are so important. What do we value? And at Christmas, so often, we truly miss the big meaning of Christmas. Obviously, if you're of faith, that's Jesus and the work that he did on the cross for us so that we can have life eternal. But even when you're not of faith, a lot of times when you get into Christmas, it's all about gifts. It's all about doing things, doing, and not enough about the real reason for Christmas. And that's sharing time with family, being able to sit down with people you love, having time to really value what's important in life. So today I want to talk about one of my favorite subjects, and John Maxwell in his book, Make Today Count, that was one of the things that he really brought to life, to know what we value in life. Guys, there's a story in the Bible that talks about two types of people. He said there was one person who he came to a place, he dug down deep until he hit some bedrock. You can hear that shovel just go clink. And when he hit that rock, he built his house upon a foundation. A valuable foundation, right? It takes time, it takes effort, but he dug down deep, got all that loose junk out, the mud, the soft stuff, and got to what really mattered, and that was the bedrock. And then from there, he was able to build his house. And so it said when the winds and the storms came, his house remained. But there was another guy. He wanted a shortcut. Most people, I think, unfortunately, value shortcuts. But generally, when you're on the road to greatness, when you're on the road to success, you can't take shortcuts. Shortcuts cost you. They slow you down. This guy wanted to take a shortcut, so he didn't bother doing the hard work that the first one did. In fact, he just kind of put his pegs in the ground, put up his little tent. But when the storms of life came, when the waves came crashing, when the winds picked up and started howling, his tent blew away. And so like a tumbleweed, he just had to keep going and fighting and trying to put stakes in the ground. Guys, I don't think we can shortcut having good values. When it comes to knowing what's really valuable in life, it is so important to have good values. You know, I think of a story of my good friend, Duke Davis. Guys, this was when my son Noah, who is now 14, when they bought the first house, actually it was a second house. We helped him sell a house, and then Duke and Megan were buying another home. And I remember Lindsay and I were going around showing them lots of properties. And there were some really nice properties in key locations. And Duke and Megan both would fall in love with the home. But they got together prior to marriage even. And they talked about what was important to them. What did they value? And one of the main values that they had was for Megan to be able to stay at home, raise children, not have to work. And so when we got out looking at the homes, it would have been easy to move forward on higher, more expensive homes. But then I would hear them have this talk, and they would have it right in front of us. And again, me and Lindsay were young. It's 13 years ago now. We were early in our careers, and we would hear these conversations. Yeah, we could buy this home, but if we did, then we'd both have to work, and that might put a halt on the whole family thing. And so they would both come to an agreement that they were on the same page. They shared the same value. They knew what was important together, what they could do. And so because they had the same shared values, they ended up buying a nice home with some acreage. It needed a little work, but that was fine because that meant that Megan could stay at home and raise children. And I am so glad I was able to watch the power of having similar values because I see how well those two get along today. Many years later, now not just having children, but after having 6 children, and Megan being able to stay home and raise those beautiful, beautiful kids. And it was just really cool at a young person in my career to see how important it is that you share values with whoever you're going to be partnering with in life, business partnering, relationships. It is so important that you're on the same page, that you share the same values. If you're of a type that what's most important to you is making a lot of money, and you care more about money than you do people, then that you need to be aware of you're in that group. Because at the end of the day, if money outweighs people, that's going to be a tough place to be. Now, there's probably a lot of successful career-oriented people that have leaned their ladder on that. But in the long run, I think when they look back, they're not very happy. They're not happy because they valued money over people. Truthfully, what's the most important thing? What did God send his son Jesus to come die for? It wasn't money, it wasn't houses, it wasn't cars, it was people. And that's why I get really excited about this time of year, because this is the time of year that we get to really invest in people. We get to love people. We get to spend time with our families. And it's so important that we get back to those good core values, that we really dig down deep and we understand what's the most important in our life. Many years ago, a good friend of mine, Tom Ziegler, Zig's son, Tom, we love Tom, he challenged us to write down our core values with our last name. And so mine is Castelli. And I'll never forget walking with our children down a road. We took a walk one day and we're like, guys, talking to our kids, what do you think is important? Some of the most important things to us. And why can't we just take our name and, like, for C, we put champions. For A, we put accepting of others. S, strong and courageous. T, teachable. E, encouragers. L, love God. L, love people. I, influencers. We want to influence people into the kingdom of God. We want to influence people to live their best lives. And we can't do that if we don't love God, love others, and if we're not teachable, encouragers. And you know, when we say C stands for champion, champion isn't about being the biggest or the best. It's about helping out the people that maybe didn't have the most in life. And so when we think about this time of year, when we think about what's really important to us, it's a great time to reassess your values. What do you value? It's so important that you check your heart. I mean, when you look in this world all the time, there's things that cause problems, right? I think jealousy, envy, greed, all those things come from a heart issue. So when you see people that have a positive attitude, that you can just feel their love when you're around them, that are strong and courageous, these are people that have heart. We'll say somebody that's got a lot of heart, they got a lot of courage, they got a lot of love. But also those same issues, when we focus more on what we don't have than what we do have, those are heart issues. And so we always need to be checking our heart and say, man, what's really important? What do we really value in life? And I'm going to just say, when you line up, when you know what your values are, it's a whole lot easier to line yourself where you're going to be able to add the most value. So folks, I hope this helps. If it does, please like and share. We appreciate you here at Elevate Real Estate. We just wish you all a very Merry Christmas. Thank you.